When your dog bites another dog in the town of Edgewood, you may have to say goodbye to your pet. In a recent case, one owner says the judge took that to a bizarre level. In a KRQE investigation, Ann Perrette shares the judge's ruling and the questions it's raising about the operation of municipal courts.
I can't imagine having to go through that and be okay living in this town after that. Like, if that's acceptable.
Mariah Cross is still reeling from an emotionally taxing year of court hearings fighting for her dog's life after he bit a neighbor's dog in October 2023.
You pay the vet bill, you move on with your day, you know? Like, he didn't kill a dog, he didn't even try to kill a dog. He just tried to chase a dog out of his personal space.
But Edgewood Animal Control issued Cross criminal charges. One of those, dangerous animals, which came with the consequence of euthanizing her dog, Gurr.
If you're gonna kill my dog, like, no, let's talk about this, you know, let's go to trial.
After a brief trial inside Edgewood's municipal court, the court that handles the town's lowest level offenses, Judge William White found Cross guilty. He ordered Gurr be put down.
I hate the idea of an animal being put down, a healthy animal.
But Judge White tells me he's bound by Edgewood ordinances, which say a dangerous animal is one that, quote, without provocation, attacks a person or other domesticated animal that is lawfully in the presence of the attacking animal and is acting peaceably when the attack results in serious injury.
They were just walking along the street when Gurr came out and attacked the dog. And then serious injury was inflicted, and that was the fact that there were multiple bites.
Cross took issue with the judge's interpretation of a serious injury.
And for a first incident, I mean, there's gotta be steps towards that, you know? Give the dog a chance.
Saying he legally couldn't allow a second chance, but feeling for Gurr and hoping his owner would learn a lesson, Judge White suggested Cross watch her dog be put down, stating in his ruling that he'd suspend or waive the $500 fee associated with the guilty verdict, quote, if you attend the euthanasia of Gurr, and a vet can attest to that.
It's a monster. How could you ask someone to do that? How could you ask someone to watch their family member die?
Is it cruel to the woman to have to watch this? Yeah, probably a little bit, but I don't do it because it's cruel. I do it because it's innovative, and I hope it accomplishes something, which is to drive home a sense of responsibility that you ought to have as a pet owner.
Judge White says punishment is part of any sentencing.
And I think anybody that is an irresponsible dog owner and their irresponsibility leads to a dog being euthanized, I think, by God, they ought to be there to watch it being euthanized and understand what they've done, what their incapacity has caused.
One mistake doesn't mean that I'm a lazy owner, doesn't mean that I'm a poor owner. It means it was a bad morning.
Cross appealed her case to district court, where she took a plea in November 2024 on the charges restraint of animals and running at large. The higher court judge dropped the dangerous animal charge, meaning Gurr is still alive.
I have the whole family for a pack, and he's part of it. And there'd be a hole there if he wasn't there.
Cross hopes her case makes people aware of how municipal courts operate. They exist in cities and towns everywhere across the state, except Bernalillo County. Judges don't need law degrees, trials don't have juries, no official record of the proceedings is kept, and when a defendant is not facing jail time, no legal representation is provided. So Cross had to represent herself.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was so frustrated. I had to spend so many extra hours of my time pouring through case law.
There's got to be somebody to represent a defendant to make it fair. And I think too often in the smaller courts, they avoid that, or that isn't provided to people.
The New Mexico Public Defender's Office, which by state law only works in higher courts, has long had concerns about representation in municipal courts.
There's some lower level offenses, but there are also things that can be pretty serious for people and can have long-term permanent consequences.
Besides city ordinance violations, municipal courts can also handle DWI and domestic violence cases. Chief Public Defender Bennett Bowers says while jail may not initially be on the table, it could be if a fee isn't paid or a defendant misses a court date.
And this is why I think it's important for municipalities. If they're going to prosecute people, then they have to provide defense for people who can't afford it.
Bowers says guidance from an attorney on how to appeal the municipal court ruling would also help. Cross had to file the paperwork on her own and then spend months in hearings as it played out.
A lot of people get frustrated and don't really want to follow through on that, and it's really understandable.
For Cross,
Oh, my boy. He's my boy.
giving up on Gur's life wasn't an option. Ann Perrette, KRQE investigates.
Cross says Gur went through training after the incident to improve his interactions with other dogs and people.